Mm,
Right, you and
mm. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, Rise and Refocus. Rise and Refocus. Let's go. Come on in. Good morning. Good morning, TikTok. Good morning, IG. How y'all doing today? I'm excited. I'm excited just because I am here. I am alive. I am well. And we're about to talk about a few things. Rise and refocus. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for joining. Come on in. You know, the work that Shannon and I do. My name is Shirley, for those of you who do not know. I am a relationship coach, and I just help people understand the dynamics of relationships and how to have healthy relationships, not just in marriage, any relationship that you have, a parent-child relationship, work relationships, whatever relation, just the dynamics of relationships is really all the same. It's very similar. Hey, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Yes. And it's interesting, and one of the things that Shanna and I are constantly um encouraging our couples to do is to get out of your comfort zone, right? Any relationship that you have. We want you to learn how to love beyond your comfort. Being in our comfort zone, it is killing us. It is destroying us. It's destroying relationships. And this is something that you have the power to control. It's interesting when we talk about comfort zones. And I think about Shannon and I, 2016, his health challenges started. That was the first time he was diagnosed with cancer. Then in 2018, he was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. 2021, he was diagnosed with cancer again. And then in 2024, he was diagnosed with cancer. And so when we're talking about loving beyond your comfort zone, that is absolutely beyond your comfort zone. There is nothing convenient about cancer, right? Your life changes. You watch your spouse change. The emotional dynamics within your spouse begins to change because there is a physical discomfort. And if anybody knows, when you're dealing with physical discomfort, it affects you emotionally as the caregiver, right? I started to see my own health started to decline because I didn't have the energy to take care of me. You all in the shop, baby. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have the energy to take care of me because of so much energy was being put towards making sure Shannon was okay financially. There's nothing convenient about struggling financially. There's nothing convenient about missing out on events and just all the things, all the dreams and the goals that we had for our life, traveling, ministry. Those things are washed away in this season that we were in, that we've been in since 2016. And so this is loving beyond convenience. This is loving beyond comfort. And so I want you to just think about the things that are going on in your life, the things that you experience that is causing you it's causing stress on you, right? The reality is we're going to be faced with stress. It's causing you to deal with stress, but you want to stay comfortable. You don't want to deal with certain things. And the reality is that true connection, it requires you to have courage. True connection requires you to have courage, not to stay comfortable and not to be convenient for you. It's not going to be convenient for you. One of the things that I had to learn in my season of discomfort, in this space of Shirley, you have to love beyond comfort, is the perspective that I had on the challenges I was facing. So many of our couples have a hard time, so many people have a hard time changing your perspective about what you're experiencing. Changing your perspective, it doesn't mean you don't feel the thing. It doesn't mean that the thing is not real. For instance, when my mom was sick, I had just gone up to Jersey to be with her for a couple of weeks, and I was coming back home. While I left, ended up staying there for almost 5 months, becoming her primary caretaker and staying until after the funeral. Once the funeral was over, the next day, Shannon, myself, and our boys, we got in the car, drove back from Jersey to Atlanta, and that weekend we were on the stage speaking to people. People are like, no way. How did you do it? Why didn't you just cancel? Why didn't you just say, hey, I'm not going to be able to do it? Was it inconvenient? Sure, I could say it was inconvenient. I was steeped in grief, but people's lives don't stop because I'm going through something. I love what God has gifted me with enough to say, your assignment, God, is more important than what I'm going through right now. And not only that, more importantly, you are going to get me through this thing that I'm dealing with, this grief that is sitting in my lap right now. Loving beyond comfort, doing the hard things, even when it is inconvenient for you. Why? Because my perspective is my purpose is not going to stop because I am in an uncomfortable place emotionally. So I'm now weighing what's important here. I can stay home and I can grieve, but what will that produce? Or I can go get on the stage, my husband and I, and pour into 900 people. And that's what we did 2 years ago. Loving beyond discomfort. Where in your life, within your marriage, where do you need to say, man, I'm comfortable here, but I don't need to be comfortable here because it's producing issues. It's causing problems. There were times where I was comfortable being defensive. I was comfortable matching energy. Your brain is going to protect you. The human nervous system is going to spend as little energy as possible in order to survive. That's the brain's job. It is to survive. Discomfort is a threat. Convenience, it is safety. So when your body feels fear and um, uncomfortable and all these emotions start to come up that's uncomfortable to you, your brain is not going to say, hey, how can we grow? Your brain is going to say, is this safe? How can we avoid this? That's what your brain is going to go to. How can we avoid this? You have to change that narrative and you have to say, how can we grow? In this situation, how can we grow? So when I'm showing up for Shannon through his illnesses, when I'm going on stage in grief, how I'm growing is I'm not making life all about me. It's so much deeper than me and how I feel and what I want. It's called sacrifice. What do you need to sacrifice? There was a movie made about this gentleman. I don't remember what it's called, but he was an extreme sports guy. He loved rock climbing, and he had gone rock climbing this day, and his arm got stuck in between these boulders. The only way this gentleman was going to live is if he severed a portion of his arm. If he did not sever his arm, he was going to die right there. The human brain is so powerful. This gentleman took out it was a little, those little pocket knives, and he went to town on his arm. What do you have to sever so that your marriage can live? What is it? It's something. Where are you comfortable that you need to stop being comfortable? Do you need to cut off relationships with family members? Do you need to cut off friendships, friends you've had since kids, and you're just holding them around, keeping them around because, man, you don't want to seem like the person who came up and you just left everybody behind. You don't want to be judged for thinking you all that. But they're not benefiting you. They're not benefiting your family. They're not pouring into you and your marriage. They're actually holding you back because they think you still that person who still engages in those particular activities. What do you need to sever? Do you need to sever not being truthful? Right? Like, hey, babe, I know you love your family. I love your family. But I'm actually not comfortable with the fact that they just come over anytime that they want. Moving forward, I really would prefer if they call first, you and I discuss and move forward. You've just been a prisoner in your marriage because you won't be honest. What do you need to sever for your peace and for the peace of your marriage? See, many of you think you're operating in peace by not telling the truth, by just laying back and just letting your spouse just go on how they want to go on. But really what you're doing is you're broadening the gap of disconnection because it's depositing bits and pieces of resentment in you. You looking at your spouse like, dang, like you really just don't care. But you know what? I know that type of attitude that you have, so I'm just, you do your thing. That's not sustainable. It is absolutely not sustainable. You cannot have intimacy without truth. You just can't, guys. Where do you need to grow? Growth will always ask you to be uncomfortable. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. If you are not uncomfortable, you are not growing because growth is going to push you. It's going to push you beyond what you think your capacity is. It's going to cause you to have to get out of your comfort zone. If life is just smooth sailing, and you're just so, and listen, I'm not saying that there cannot be happiness and peace. No, absolutely there can be. But in the most wonderful marriages, when you grow to the next level, there's still a bit of uncomfortability. There's some baggage you have to let go of. There are some people and some things that you have to sever. And that's why, that's why love, it really does require us to have courage. It really does. Because it's going to pull things out of us that we didn't want to be pulled out of us. Because the human brain does not like being uncomfortable. But I want you to embrace being uncomfortable. That's what I want you to do. I want you to change the story in your head. So when your brain asks the question, is this safe? Is this going to keep us safe? You have to tell yourself the truth. It feels uncomfortable, but it's not unsafe. It's not unsafe to tell the truth, but it is uncomfortable. You have to speak to your brain. I always say I talk myself off the ledge. Because if I don't talk myself off the ledge, then I'll just continue to jump into the sea of comfortability. And I'm like, no, nope, we're not doing that. I'm not going to continue to stay in a place of comfortability if it is keeping me from leveling up spiritually, emotionally, mentally, financially, physically. These are battles that each of us deal with in all of our different ways. I'm dealing with my own right now. And I have to choose, am I going to continue to be comfortable? Or am I going to level up in this particular area of my life because I'm not showing up as my best self? And there are consequences. There are consequences. So when we talk about things being hard, things are hard. But you have to choose your hard. So for me, I can choose my hard with continuing to eat unhealthy. That's going to be hard because there are consequences. Or choose to be healthy, to have a healthier lifestyle, and then to be able to be blessed with these consequences. Positive consequences, negative consequences. You choose. You choose. So I want to give you some actionable steps. I want you to put yourself in a position to be uncomfortable by asking your spouse or trusted friends of yours some uncomfortable questions. And listen, you may know the answer, but you've been avoiding it. Like, hey, where do you think I can step up and become better? Do you think that I'm a selfish person? Is there any place where you feel like, man, I rub people the wrong way? That I have a bad attitude? Ask them and let them be honest without you getting upset. Don't get in your feelings. You're asking because you want to grow. You're asking because you're tired of staying stuck and nothing change. And listen, if nothing changes, then nothing changes. You understand? If nothing in your life changes, then nothing in your life will change. Allow people to be honest to you about you. And if you love these people and you know they have your best interests at heart, why are you getting in your feelings about it? What are your goals? Is your goal to stay comfortable, or is your goal to have the best absolute life possible, to experience all that God has for you? Do you want to love with everything? Or do you want to keep holding back and just holding on and staying safe? And if you want to stay safe, my question to you is, how has that worked for you? And if you being honest, that has not worked for you. It has not worked for you. You're pushing people away. That hasn't worked for you. Do you need to sever the fear? Man, so many of us are walking in fear. Do you need to sever some fears that you have? And are you willing? You know, it's so interesting. A lot of people, we use the term able. And I have to get out of the habit of using that, because I'll say, man, are you able to? No, it's not about ability. It is 0% about ability. It really is. It is about, are you willing? That's the bottom line. You see paraplegic people playing ball, doing marathons. Yeah, they're not running marathons, but they're doing marathons. People with no arms or legs on stage speaking. People surfing, they don't have no arms, no legs. They surfing. Are you willing? The human brain is the most powerful muscle that there is. You just have to will it. It's the message that you're sending your brain that's causing you to make the decisions that you're making. That's it. Talk to me, guys. Look straight ahead. Boom, boom, boom. No intimacy without feeling. No intimacy without feeling safety. Yes. Uncomfortability may lead to divorce. That is interesting. Uncomfortability may lead to divorce. Yes. Sorry. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, Uncomfortability could lead to divorce. It could, but staying comfortable can lead to divorce too. Staying comfortable can lead to divorce as well. And staying comfortable means you're holding back, you're not living in truth, right? You're not growing. So if divorce is going to happen, I mean, of course we don't want divorce to happen, but if it's going to happen, why not allow it happen by you saying, I did everything that I could. I walked in truth. I tried to level up. I tried to put my family in a better space, spiritually, financially, mentally, emotionally. These are the things that I worked on. And if your spouse is not willing to receive that, there's nothing that you can do about that. But what you can do is you can make sure that you are the man and or the woman that God has called you to be. If you're not doing your best, then you shouldn't be pleased with that. You should not be pleased with the fact that you're not doing your best because you're afraid that your spouse is going to respond a certain way. It's just no way to live. It's no way to live. I've been uncomfortable, but maybe it's more unhappy.
You have to scroll up and see it. Okay.
Well, let me scroll,
Initial
guys.
comment.
Last night I came home and no one was there. No one was here. My wife took our 5 kids under 5 and it just left me. And just left. We've been have a lot of problems. Okay. Sorry, Chip. I started reading in the middle. We are in marriage counseling and we have our own individual counselors. This is a big discomfort. I'm trying not to be emotional. I definitely want to encourage you to not try to be emotional. I would encourage you, number one, to feel your emotions. Um, Emotions don't serve us when we're out of control and it's unhealthy. We're lashing out and all the dramatics, right? But when you're emoting, when you're feeling, when you're sitting in the pain and allowing it to come out, please don't stop that process. Your body needs that. Literally. You need to get that out of your system because when we don't allow ourselves to emote, it turns into other stuff. Turns into anger, it turns into resentment, it turns into rage, it turns into bitterness. Your feelings are your feelings, and your feelings are your feelings, and you got to have and express. Thank you. Yep, Nico, exactly. I pray you and your wife come together in conversation. Yeah, absolutely. My complacency ruined my marriage. Mm, mm. My selfish ego took over, and I neglected my wife to where now she sees me as an enemy full of disgusting and resentment toward. Let me ask you, what are you doing about it now? What are you doing about it now? Listen, y'all, Shannon and I, we were in the same place as Champ, as you, um, Cham, 20, same place, did not want our marriage. Divorce was 100% on the table. We were out. We were like deuces. We were emotionally divorced. I told Shannon when it feels like rape, I mean when you touch me, it feels like rape. And he didn't touch me for 9 months. He left me for somebody else. Like, y'all, we have been through it. I'm not on here talking because it's just something to do. We have experienced the worst of the worst. You have to make a decision. What are you going to do? Champ, your wife took your kids. Bro, how are you showing up? That's the only thing you can focus on. I'm not saying that to say you're the problem. I'm saying that to say that you are part of the problem. So, whatever part you play, how can you show up better? How can you change that? How can you show up differently? You said your complacency, the other brother, you said your complacency And your ego, how let me know how your complacency and your ego have benefited your marriage. If it's not, stop allowing it to get in the way. Literally, our counselor said to us one time, how is that working for you? It ain't working. You know the problem. You know you've been complacent. You know you're driven by your ego. If you don't know why, perhaps you need to get yourself in a process to figure all this out. But what you do know is you know what it feels like before that ego starts to rear its ugly head. It's something that starts in our body. Our bodies will always tell us what's about to come. You have the power to control it. That's the power that you have. You just have to make the decision. You have to allow yourself to go beyond that discomfort, the discomfort of changing. You have to allow yourself to go there. Much appreciate. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
You jump in the comments.
Consistency is key above all. Absolutely. Consistency is key. 100%. Kristen, amen. I'm in that situation where I'm facing divorce at my husband's request. So sorry to hear that, sis. I'm doing all I can to become a better wife, and I'm willing to fight with all I have to save my marriage and family. Let me say this, Kristen. One of the things that I want you to do, I want you to, if you are continuing to fight for your marriage by talking to your husband about the marriage, I want you to stop because that's not doing anything but frustrating him. Don't talk about, what can I do better? Why are you doing this? None of that. You know what you can do better. Just show it better. That's the thing, y'all. We go through all these antics. I'm not saying you're doing that, but now I'm just speaking holistically because this is the experience that we have through our clients and people that come to us. They want to keep talking about the problem instead of just addressing the problem through changed behavior. So, right now, where you are, your husband needs to see changed behavior. Fellas, your wives need to see changed behavior. Anything you say, it's not going to matter at this point. Literally, it's just going to irritate and frustrate them. You know why? Because you've said it before. You have said it before. And so now they're just waiting to see. And listen, as you're changing, they're sitting back waiting to see, yeah, how long this change is going to last. How long is it going to last? We'll see, right? Because the experience has been when we get to this place, oh, you start to change. But then when you think I'm back in, now you're comfortable again. This is why when Shannon and I teach people, it's about being, not doing, because the doing is not sustainable. You're just doing it to get them back. And then once you get back into your groove, you get back into your comfort zone. This is why growth requires you to be uncomfortable because you are becoming something different, someone different. You're not just doing something to get a response. You're saying, whether you give me what it is that I want or not, what I need or not, this is who I am. This is who I am becoming. This is who I've become. When your spouse sees that and they see that they've been dogging you out, treating you horribly, but you're showing up differently, even when they've been the biggest jerk that they can be, they're like, okay, maybe she has changed. Maybe he has changed. Y'all, many times people are asking for a divorce because they want something different, not because they don't want to be with you. They just don't want to be with you like this. Do you understand? A lot of times people think they just don't want the marriage anymore. They don't want what comes with it. So give them something different. Give them something palatable. People eat where the food is delicious. When you go to a restaurant and they give you horrible service and the food ain't even hitting like that, are you going to go back? Like, let's be honest here. But then you expect for you to give your spouse horrible service and horrible food and then think that they just supposed to be happy and enjoy it just because you chose to stay, just because you're there, because you're providing, because you're bringing money into the household. Like, come on, y'all, this is backwards thinking. Nowhere else in your life does that make sense to you? But for some reason in your marriage, you think it's supposed to make sense. Come on, y'all. Come on, it doesn't make sense. My husband called 2 years ago and I don't know who he is anymore. My husband, I'm sorry, retired 2 years ago and I don't know who he is anymore. Feel like I'm losing him. Mm. So interesting. I have a lot of questions there. Like, how does retirement fit into um, you not knowing who he is? Did he just become complacent and with not having anything to do, so he feels like there's no purpose? Um, it's interesting. I would love if you could expand on that. That would be cool. Or you could send a DM. You could send a DM and we can maybe try to support you in that. Shannon, can we talk on Facebook, babe?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Awesome. Glad you reached out. Glad you reached out. Good stuff. It's a hurtful truth. Yes, it is. Thank you. We haven't spoke to each other except logistics on, okay, on the separation. I'm focusing on God. I'm focusing on becoming a better wife. Yep. Yep. That's it. That is it. Listen, the change that happened within me, it wasn't because of my ability. It was because of my willingness and allowing God to change me. Because in my flesh, I wanted to pop off. I wanted to get defensive. I wanted to stay um, in a space where I continued to protect myself, where I thought I was protecting myself. That's what I wanted to do because it felt safer to not open up and to not be vulnerable. But what happens when you're not opening up and you're not being vulnerable is you don't connect. You don't connect. And so, Kristen, continue to allow God to work in you. And one of two things will happen, sis. Your husband will move on and you will get through this. You will absolutely get through this. Keep your eyes focused on God and the work that God is doing in you. Or you will continue to allow God to work in you and your husband will see the change and allow God to work in his heart. and you all will be beneficiaries of each other's growth and love and move forward in such a powerful way.
Keep looking at that.
My wife is currently with another man. Mm, wow, I'm so sorry to hear that. Frederick, I'm so sorry to hear that, bro. That is tough. That is tough. Been there, both ends, understand. Is she in the house or are you separated? Okay, you're separate. Our separation isn't on paper, but she's going off her own understanding. But you guys are still married. You know, it's interesting, the whole separation piece. People misuse and abuse separation. We rarely ever encourage couples to separate because they don't use it for what it's meant to be used for. Separation is meant for you to separate, do the work, yet still remain a family. So even if you're in different places, you're communicating. Whoever, wherever the children are, this spouse that is out of the house, you come every day, you help that parent with the children, you're still interacting, you are very intentional about being present, even though you two may be in different spaces, and you're doing the work. We're not with other people. What that defeats the purpose of separation. Just get a divorce. Separation is for us to grow. That's it.
Keep looking at that.
I told her you are married. She has moved this man into the house around my 11 kids. Wow, so you're out of the house. Seems she's confused.
She's not confused.
Bro, it's nothing. She's not confused. She's not confused. She knows exactly what she's doing. This is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But she's not confused. You have decisions to make. You have a decision to make.
Looking.
You're living in a shelter. So my question to you is, what do you need to do for you to get on your feet? Because emotionally, this is absolutely devastating. Frederick, this is devastating. It's devastating for you and it's devastating for these 11 children. And I hate the fact that she moved a man into her house with these children. Your children need to be your priority right now, not your wife. Your children need to be your priority. You must protect them at all costs. You need to get on your feet. You need to handle your business so that your children will have a place to come and be with you. You need to be able to know what's going on in your kid's life with this other man in the household. And if you are not on your feet in your own place, handling your business, you're not going to be able to be present like that. They're not going to just be able to come to the shelter and spend the night with you. I need you to get focused, bro. This is what pushing through discomfort looks like. You're going to have to push through discomfort. You have to. I need you to think about that, Frederick. I need you to spend today thinking about that. It absolutely has been hard. But now you got to choose your heart, bro. Choose your heart, just living in the shelter, continuing to the disconnect between you and your children, letting another man raise your children, or pulling yourself up and saying, enough is enough. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do whatever I got to do. You start at the bottom, bro. You start at the bottom. Get your own place so that your children can come and live with you. Not live with you permanently, because you and your wife will have to go through a process of, 50-50 custody, all of that. She's moved on. Your children are your priority. Handle your business, Frederick. I hope you heed to my words. Choose your heart. Hard staying in the shelter or hard getting on your feet. Hard watching another man take care of your kids and you being without your kids, or hard getting on your feet. Choose your heart, bro. Did he say 11 years? Oh, no, he said 11 kids.
He said that someone's asking, wish you would have your glasses.
I know, I wish I need my glasses.
If someone's asking him of all 11 kids, his kids.
Oh, she blocks me and tells the kids to not answer. Are you in America? Can you answer that real quick? Are you in America? Because I don't know the court systems in other countries. Um, but if you're in America, bro, take this to the court system, even in other countries. I know you could take this to the court system. Yes. Frederick, why aren't you knocking down the doors of the courts?
He living in the shelter. He ain't got that.
Do you have your government ID? Do you have your social security card, birth certificate? Do you have those three things? If so, I'm sorry, bro, there is no excuse. You Fort Worth, Texas? Yeah. Frederick. Hey, bro, you got to make the decision. You have to make a decision. This is the time to walk on eggshells and sugar. If you know anything about Shannon and I, we don't sugarcoat nothing because life is too short. Time is passing by. This is another day that you're allowing her to plant seeds in your kid's brain because you're not doing what you need to do to get on your feet and to handle your business. You are so focused about the other man in your house, but you're not focused on, oh, let me do something about that. Go to the court system today.
Yes, to answer the question, how did we get here? You didn't get here overnight. 11 children. You had at least 11 years.
Yep. Yep.
Don't.
Shannon saying, how did you get here? How did it get to this point? And that's a whole
Yeah.
conversation. But how did you get to this point where your wife doesn't want to be with you? She brings another man in, you're in a shelter. What happened?
Yeah, he's focused on the wrong thing. He all on something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
You
focus
you
on
yeah, you're focused on her being on TikTok. Bro. Meanwhile, this man is living in your house, bro.
rise and refocus.
Thank you, coach, for taking the time on Christmas Eve to be with us. You're amazing. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate it. Listen, this is why this is called Rise and Refocus, because you need to refocus. Frederick, you need to refocus. You need to stop watching TikTok. You need to stop worrying about what she's doing, because while you're worried about what she's doing, your life is staying stagnant and stuck. She moving on, bro. So I encourage you to move on. Get on your feet and get yourself secure so that your children, the courts, okay? The courts can put in place that the kids have to come and be with you 50-50 so that you can strengthen your relationship with them. All this didn't just happen out the blue. This did not just happen out the blue. You have to take some responsibility. And you know where that responsibility lies within you. You know what you did. You know how you showed up as a husband. Shannon, so glad your health is going well. Yes, praise God. How is respect regained in a relationship? Respect is regained through honesty. Respect is regained through how you treat somebody. How are you talking to that person? What's your tone like? Are you meeting their needs? Are you being patient? Do you understand who they are? Do you see them? And then ask your spouse, what does respect look like for you? Yes, there is a monolithic theme within respect, but there's also some things that are personalized. You're showing up in a certain way that your spouse is saying, wow, this is disrespectful. Are there people in your life who your spouse is like, I'm uncomfortable with this person in your life? Are you just making decisions and you're not coming in together with your spouse? You're just making a decision and they're finding out once the decision is made. So many ways that respect can be gained. Are you showing up respectable? Just kindness. So many spouses are just, man, just not kind. And that comes off like dismissive, you don't care, disrespectful. When I say there's something that I would like, that I want, when I give my 2 cents, is it considered? So many ways that you can gain respect in your marriage. I would say ask your spouse what that looks like for them. And also use your logic because you know what's respectful to you. And so if I snap at Shannon, I know I don't like it when Shannon snaps at me. So why am I doing something to him that I don't like that he does to me? That's disrespectful. We know what disrespect is, and we know what respect looks like. I'm becoming more emotionally mature. You know why it's not too late? Let me tell you something why it's not too late. Because you are becoming. Now, it may be too late for the situation that you're in, but you should not be doing this for them. You should be doing this because you need to become more emotionally mature. And whoever is in your life, they will benefit from that. Period. So the words that you need to say, the narrative that you need to have is, I'm becoming more emotionally mature because this is where I need to be. This is what I need to be doing. I want to show up a better human being. Not, man, let me become emotionally mature so that I can get my spouse back. Doesn't work. It's not sustainable. Okay? So continue staying on the road of becoming more emotionally mature. You will not regret it. I promise you that. I promise you that. It will benefit you. whether in this relationship or the next. It will benefit you in your career. It will benefit you in your other relationships with your family members, with your friends, with your coworkers. If you own a business, if you're an employee, it will benefit you. You cannot lose. You cannot lose. Continue on that path, please. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being here. Rise and refocus. Today it is Christmas Eve. I want you to go. I want you to enjoy your families. I want you to be present. Please, please be present. Please be present with your families, with your children. If your spouse will not be present with you, be present with your children. Love on them. Let's go into the new year strong. This is why we're doing this rise and refocus. I don't want you to just go into the new year strong. I want you to go into today strong. That's why we start at 6:30 in the morning. I want today to be strong for you. I want you to refocus. Be intentional about where you're putting your energy, where you're putting your thoughts, where you're putting your actions, what your actions look like. You got this. See you next week. God bless. Blessings, y'all.